So welcome back to Lomax video series. Today we're going to look at HIIT. Like our previous videos, where we focused on lower body and upper body training, we're going to look at a body weight program. There are loads and loads of ways you can make this harder or easier, depending on your A, your fitness level, and B, your injury profile. And a word on injury. HIIT has been over-glamorized. It's been around for years. It just seems to have got a lot of appeal now with the rise of the sort of social media fitness video, which is great, except for the fact that the danger of it is that done wrong, it's very, very, very injurious. You can get badly messed up doing it. And the problem with that is that if what you're doing HIIT for is to burn fat or get ripped, which is kind of, again, we can come on to whether that's actually the correct thing for the use of HIIT or not, but let's just say that's what you're trying to do, then if you get off games by getting injured, you're ruining the chance of that as a long-term objective. So the thing about HIIT is that high-intensity interval training is where it's at. We need to make sure our intervals are very intense, and then our rest breaks are short enough to then come back to the next interval of intense exercise. So realistically, what you're actually doing is using short periods of rest that let the body recover a little bit, but not enough. So then you're hitting it again and again, and the cumulative effect is really what HIIT's about. What it isn't about is going as hard as you possibly can at the behest of your body's own abilities for 20 seconds or 30 seconds or 45 seconds, whatever interval it is you choose to do, and then going again and again and again like that. That's just dangerous. So what we look at when we do HIIT, rather than going hell for leather in exercises, is using a tension principle, which applies loads to muscle, often just the body load, which creates the intensity that you're after in your interval. Intensity doesn't mean fast, it just means stressing the muscles out enough to make the heart rate have to force oxygen to the muscle. So if all we want to do is create intensity over a period of an interval, followed by a small rest break, and then create intensity again, there's no better way than doing that than with your body weight. If you then apply weights like ankle weights, which we're going to look at in terms of progressions, or dumbbells for making moves again more progress, or bands, or whatever it is you like, that can be done. But if you don't have the right mastery of your body weight, you'll be wasting your time. So first up, we're going to look at a bit of a warm-up like we do with all of our exercise videos. We're going to get the whole body warmed up because HIIT tends to involve lots of joint movements, because the more joints you've got moving, the more muscles you've got moving, the more oxygen's needed, the higher the heart rate goes. So Charlie, let's get down and let's warm up to start with. First up, we're going to do some toe grabs. We want to make sure that the hips, the hamstrings, the quads are all, and particularly the adductor sets on the hips, because there's lots of movement that are jumping exercises. So we want to make sure all of this is nice and warmed up. So we're going to do some toe grabs. So just bung me 12 of those. Good thing about this exercise is it's brilliant for the hamstrings and also the adductors on the inside, but more importantly, it releases your lower back. Because the thing about exercises which involve things like jumping lunges, like movements like this, or transverse movements like this, or exercises where you're exploding off the floor with press-ups, is that your lower back, which is effectively your core, this whole strapping area around here, is often forgotten about because you're sacrificing technique for speed. And again, when we come back to that whole idea of intensity, if I just ask Charlie to do an exercise like this, half speed, to keep going up and up, up, it will be much harder than if she goes at it really, really quickly. You might complete 50 repetitions in a 20-second interval going quickly, or 20 in a 20-second interval going slowly, but I guarantee her heart rate will go up better in the 20 seconds. So we've done that. Now let's look at doing some diver stretches. So again, we're looking at integrating the whole of the upper body and the whole of the lower body. Again, focusing around getting this nice and open, core nice and engaged, lower back mobilized. Good here. Charlie comes from a gymnastics background, so exercises like this, in terms of utilization of shoulders and hips at the same time, are kind of second nature to her. I find exercises like this very difficult because guys tend to either train legs or upper body independently. We tend not to do things that use the body, the total body at the same time. Good. And stop there. And then let's have a quick jump at the lunge complex. A large part of HIIT is going to be doing unilateral work like jumping lunges, etc. So a little lunge pattern here. I like to go backwards on this because it operates the hamstrings and the glutes more. Back up with a twist and then out to the side. Side lunges are a phenomenally important part of doing a HIIT warm-up because the adductor complex I talked about earlier on gets a real thrashing. So that's that, good, nicely done. Headbutting the pod, excellent news, up we go. Good twists and open up. And again, you would do 20 of these. So we would look to do those 3 exercises, around about 20 repetitions, and you might want to repeat that 1 or 2 times, good. So now we can get on with getting into the first block. First block of exercise, we're going to look at 3 exercises done for 20 seconds each, back to back, and then we're going to take a pause. If you need to, you can do 20 seconds 10, 20 seconds 10, 20 seconds 10. That forms your block, and then you can repeat that a number of different times. I like to repeat it 3 times. So first up, Charlie, jumping lunges, that's it. So you're going to give me 20 seconds of jumping lunges, and I'm going to talk you through it. So let's go, bang. All right, so notice here what you're really looking for is feet flat to the floor. You don't want to be jumping onto your toes at the beginning, because if your knees go over your toes in the same way as they would in a lunge, it's going to hurt your knees. So nice, flat foot on the floor, driving up through the front foot here on the floor here. Excellent, right, now we're going to stop there. Press ups with a mountain climber. This is a classic HIIT move, mainly because now we're moving more into an upper body exercise, but again, we're now starting to move down and engage the core at the same time. So again, with a 20-second movement on this, every single time here, you're looking to return to the planking position, keeping the core tight, so squeeze everything. The more you squeeze, the more intensity the interval has. 2, 1, and stop there. Last exercise. Yes, exactly. Tap plank. Right, so this one's a good one again. So the plank in and of itself is an exercise which you can do just on its own, but moving around creates instability. Instability creates intensity, and now we have an intensity principle. She's not rushing through this exercise. She's keeping a nice technique, nice engaged core, all the way through it for another 5 seconds. So last toes. Let's get one more out. Get one more out. Bang, bang, hip, hip, foot, foot. And again, looking through there, we're looking at straightening all those hamstrings. Excellent, stop there. Now take a pause for 10 seconds, and we would repeat this again. Right, now we're going to get into our second block. Again, we've got a lower body focus exercise, an upper body focus exercise, and an abdominals exercise. Again, we're looking at a 20-second interval of each of those exercises. Correct technique in each of the intervals. Intensity can be applied, as I'll talk through, followed by a rest, and then repeat, and then rest and repeat. So first up, Charlie. Hammer into what I call King Kongs. Again, terminology on all of these things, you can YouTube them or you can look up on Google, tons and tons of different versions of all these exercises. This one I particularly like because it uses so many movements. Right, let's go. So first of all, you've got a deadlift, up into your body squat, and then up into an overhead press. Now we carry on. Good, 20 seconds of this. Now notice with Charlie, because she's got great flexibility and great mobility, she can go very, very deep. The more depth in squats, the more depth in pressing, the more height in pulling. Any of the exercises you choose to put together in a HIIT workout, the more range of movement you've got, the harder it is, the harder the intensity is. We've got a shaker here, Lomax shaker here, that's her weight, and we can stop there. Now we're going to go into renegade rows. I'll grab that off you, mark that up there. Now we're going to look at the renegade row as a press up with a back activated exercise. Up we go, good. Now the good thing about this exercise is, again, most of the time you'll have noticed this has been done when you've seen it on the internet with dumbbells, and that we can upgrade to do. But on a bodyweight workout, this is just as good, right? You've got another 5 seconds to go. Interesting things to note here are how tight she's keeping her core. Technique is good. She's not rushing through the exercise. She is just doing the exercise exactly right with the right intensity. Let's stop there. I'm going to do a slightly modified V sit-up. Okay, reason being is I want to engage in more parts of the body. So up Charlie's got here is she's got an adductor and abductor routine at the bottom here with the legs. Meanwhile, her hands are going above her head here, which is creating more weight, but still using body weight, so more stress on the abs. So the intensity principle here has been ticked in 3 or 4 different ways without rushing the exercise and without damaging anything to do with her lower back. So again, use your own body weight to create intensity. It's 2, 1, and stop there. Right, 10 seconds rest, and we'll go again. So into block 3, again, looking at some lower body exercises, some upper body exercises, some abs. And now, in here, we're going to start to introduce plyometrics. And plyometrics are really exercises that involve much more explosive activity, jumping, the killer, which we're going to have into this block, which is the burpee. And Charlie, again, being a gymnast, is going to demonstrate burpees properly. There are lots of ways when you start getting into jumping exercises that things can go badly wrong in HIIT, and this is the area of the most injury. And burpees need to be done properly. They're not to be messed with. Although everyone does the burpee challenge, I know that's a very good thing to do, but if you are going to do burpees, please do them this way and not the way that most people do them, which is with a great big arching jump, which all that will happen is you'll damage your lower back when you land. So, with that in mind, the first thing we're going to look to do is do an exercise which we're going to have is with some shadow boxing and a lunge. So get down into an isometric hold. So unlike our jumping lunges, we're going to start in this position, and then in 10 seconds you're just going to punch as fast and hard as you can in that position for 10 seconds, and then we're going to jump out, swap legs. Again, you can upgrade this exercise very easily by holding weights. Good, 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 good. The whole idea here is you're going to jump up and switch legs now, and the whole idea about this exercise again is that Charlie is keeping all of this area switched on. So the intensity is in the isometric hold, in a squat, effectively in a lunge hold, and the rotational element is abdominal 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Excellent. Now we're going to come on to the dreaded burpee. Let's go. I'm going to point out the key here to a burpee, flat to the floor. Now Charlie is in a piked jump position. This is because we need her hips to be in line with her rib cage when she jumps, not arched through the back. And this is the correct form of burpee. Down to the floor, all the way up, pike jump. Try and grab hold of your toes effectively, and then you'll be safe. It also makes it a heck of a lot harder. All right, and that's that. Excellent news. And last but not least, yes. This is a very, very tough exercise. Blokes are terribly bad at this, but girls are better. So it's a side plank, and the modification is twofold. The first bit is, so the leg is getting a raise. Again, we're activating glute, and then there's a crunch in here. We'll get 10 on this side, and then we'll reverse it out so you can see what's going on this side. So 10 seconds on this side, let's do a couple more. Good, keep nice and tight, keep this upper body nice and tight. Let's swap it over, swap it over. Now you'll see from the other side what this looks like. Again, engaging your core here, working through all of the oblique muscles here in this exercise, but it's so much tougher. As soon as you take one leg off the floor, even Charlie, who's a trained athlete, is struggling with this one. So again, don't need any extra weights for this. 2, 1, stop. And that's block 3. And again, you would take a 10-second break and repeat it twice. All right, so now we're going to look at block 4. This is an additional block. You don't have to do this, but it will round it up to about 20 minutes. I like to call this a hybrid block. So again, you're sticking to a basic principle of a lower body and upper body and a core exercise. You're also sticking to the basic principle of just using body weight. But what we've tried to do with this exercise is show you how you can be quite dynamic. So the first exercise we're going to do is a hybrid burpee. Again, 20 seconds on this exercise. Crack on, Charlie. Good, up we go, straight out into the press. Now, if you wanted to add a press up in here, if you wanted to add a jump in here, all of those things can be done. But again, all you're doing is adding body weight. Exercise is still being done with the same correct posture, the same correct technique, nice and steady. It's just that it's incredibly difficult because there's so many moving elements, and that's 2, 1, jump it up. Now we're going to go into a hybrid press up. So now she's going to go down into the floor. Some people call these Superman press ups or 360 press ups. Tap it out, reach it out, there, good. Down we go, up, now reach it out to here, excellent. Down we go. And again, if you were to have weights when doing this exercise, this would be even harder. You could change the angle at which you can reach laterally, you can create just more instability that the core has to fight. And 2, 1, stop there. And the final one is exact opposite of our tap plank almost. So you go up into what's technically called a crab grab in animal flow, and we go toes to hand, excellent. Now this is a tough exercise to do, mainly because it's quite a stretch position for the upper body, but also you've got to try and always keep your hips up. So you've got to think about hips, you've got to think about feet, you've got to think about upper body, your breathing's going, it's at the end of the set. So this hybrid is a particularly nasty one to finish with 2, 1, and stop. Good. 10 seconds break, repeat that again. I hope you've enjoyed the workout. Please remember to click on the Lomax logo so that you can subscribe.